Hi everyone! Today's look is all about the luminous skin, using a lot of dewy and cream textures. Now, a glowy base really starts with the condition of your skin and therefore your skincare. The first, and perhaps the most crucial step, is adequate exfoliation to promote skin cell renewal. Prior to filming, I use the Tatcha rice exfoliant, and this is in deep, just to slough off any dull skin. Then you can go ahead and apply a moisturizer that suits your skin type. Hydration and luminosity really go hand in hand, so I've used the Chantecaille Vital Essence. And this is a serum that has a gel texture, but is also supremely hydrating. Once you've mastered that, you can make the most of the vast variety of luminous makeup on the market. At this point, you should determine whether or not you will require a primer, as we will be using a lot of cream and liquid products today. If you find that your makeup lacks longevity or migrates throughout the day, or perhaps you have oily skin, then now would be the time to apply that primer. Two great options are the Laura Mercier primers and the Hourglass Veil primer, as they don't overly mattify the skin. Makeup wears like iron on me, so I'm going to skip primer and head straight for foundation. Today I'm going to be using the Armani Luminous Silk, and this is in shade 5. And I'm going to apply that with a paddle brush, pretty much all over the face. This foundation has a medium coverage and a dewy finish. It also pictures beautifully, so a great option if you're going to an event and are likely to be pictured. Some other luminous foundations that you might consider are the Yves Saint Laurent Touche or the Chanel Vita Lumiere. Basically any foundation with a dewy finish. And just before I forget, I'm going to apply a lip balm. This is by Embryolisse, just so that my chronically dry lips don't detract from the luminous skin. Next, I'm going to take an illuminating concealer and just conceal any shadows underneath my eyes. This by Terry one is one of my favorites because it provides a really decent coverage and just the right amount of illumination. I'm also bringing this down a little bit onto my cheeks, and make sure you don't forget that inner corner, as many people are darkest there. I've done my right eye just so you can compare and visibly see what great coverage that provides. Moving on to the cheeks. I've chosen a peachy cream blusher from the Becca Fallen Angel palette, just to accentuate the sheen that we got going on. I'm going to be using a very small stippling brush to apply this so that I have some precision as to placement. With blushes, I prefer to apply just off the apples of the cheek, and this provides a peak of colour without being entirely obvious when viewing straight on. This is also a good placement for those who are quite wide across the cheekbones, as I am, as it helps detract from that width. So I'm just going to take that peachy blush on my stippling brush and right off the apples of the cheek, I'm going to use a dabbing motion and blend outwards. Up until this point, I've used creamy formulas with no shimmer whatsoever. So I'm going to introduce a little bit of highlighter. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in shade Moonstone. And I'm going to place this on the high points of my face. I'm using the same brush that I used to apply my foundation, and I'm going to apply this liquid highlighter in thin layers to the tops of my cheekbones, a little bit under my brow, and on my Cupid's bow. If you're seeking extra luminosity, you can apply more highlighter, but make sure that it's done in thin layers, as you can always go back for more. Take a bit of extra time to really blend your blush into your highlighter using both the brushes that we used. We don't want to see where the highlighter ends or where the blush ends. We want the final look to be quite refined and polished, but almost undetectable. For the eyes, we're using yet another cream product. This is the Makeup Forever Aqua Cream in shade 13, which is a really pretty rose gold shade. I'm going to apply that cream shadow to the lid, just using my finger. I always like a little bit of definition in the socket, so I'm going to put a bit of contour powder through the crease. Just lightly. I think a lot of people feel as though their under eye concealer erases some of that definition on the lower lash line, and I have this issue too. And to combat this, I just take a little bit of a contour powder and I place some more definition on that lower lash line, and I find this helps my eyes look a bit bigger. I'm giving dark eyeliner a miss, but I have placed a few random false individual lashes on my upper lash line just to give a more wide-eyed effect. I'm then just going to pop on my mascara to both my upper and lower lashes. Additionally, I'm going to run a light nude pencil on the lower waterline. This is just to exemplify that healthy and bright look that we're trying to achieve. I also tend to run that in a little bit in the inner corner. For the most part, I tend to prefer nude pencils to white pencils, as I find that the latter can look a little bit stark. Now for my favorite part of this look, the lip. This is a warm coral lipstick from the Chanel Spring 2013 collection. And I purchased this today and I haven't tried it yet, and I'm very excited. So I'm just going to apply this with a square lip brush. This is a matte formula, and I think that'll contrast really nicely against the luminous skin. Quite a bright shade on me. I'd almost call it neon, but I'm quite fond of the color. I think it's very pretty. One final step. There are some regions on the face where sheen or shine is simply not flattering. This tends to be under the eyes and on the sides of the nose, as many people have visible pores there. To combat this, I'm going to apply the tiniest bit of powder. I've chosen the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. And this will tone down the shine without dulling that luster that we've created. It's not your typical matte powder. So just down the sides of the nose and under the eyes. I should also mention that I'm using quite a small brush. This is still a number 9, so that I don't disperse products all over my face. And that completes our how-to on luminous skin. This routine is particularly good in the colder months when skin seems to be lacking vitality, but I use these techniques all year round. I hope you all have a lovely week, and I shall see you later.